So first of all, I want to say before anything, thank you. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all of the support that you've given me and for being here and sticking through all of this. Again, please watch to the end of the video so that I can make sure that you're satisfied. I'm going through this video simply because people have expressed so many different things as to why I'm not commenting and different concerns that you have. So I really do hope that you'll watch to the end of the video. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you so much for your positive feedback and for your negative feedback. Thank you for just listening and being a part of this. You really do make a difference, and I want you to know that, and I want you to know how much I appreciate it, and that it's not falling on deaf ears, even if I'm not able to reply to the comments all the time. I will explain that to you, but for right now, all I want to say is the donations and things like that, and the PayPal and I don't know, Cash App, whatever it is. I need to learn the technology. 1, 2, most important to me, I want you to donate if you want to, only because you support me in my channel, you find value in my material, and you really like it, just like any other YouTuber. I don't want you to donate to me because you feel a great deal of pity for me. I know that there's a benefit in feeling like you also help somebody, okay? And I want you guys to feel that because we are interdependent. And I do understand the whole idea of me being, you know, an island unto myself and being stubborn and not accepting help. This is something I have to work on. And I do want you guys to feel like this is reciprocal. You've helped me and I'm helping you, you know. So even if that does mean financially, it's just that I want you to donate to my channel when I can get that all set up, because you find value in the channel, because that's gonna build my dignity. That's gonna build my self-respect. I don't want it to just be here money for nothing, you know. And ultimately, honestly, I think there's a few things that will help people get out of homelessness. I think there's a few things that our world is crushing in a variety of ways. And the answers to homelessness is not really money. It's actually, in my opinion, dignity, self-respect, and people just listening, just taking the time. You know, so if it's not me that you blast, seek out a homeless person and then don't expect something from them to change their ways per se, but go to them a weekly basis, a monthly basis, meet them and just listen to them. Just sit with them, just talk to them. Don't just give them a whole bunch of money. Fine, bring them some food if you want to, but eat with them, you know? Build the relationship, be a friend, listen, you know? Build their dignity, build their self-respect, build their confidence, and they will get themselves out of the situation. There's a really good quote that is just very personal to me, and I heard many years ago, and I believe it wholeheartedly. And it says, Christ does not take a man out of the slums. Christ takes the slums out of the man, and the man takes himself out of the slums. I have the slums inside of me. I need people to help me take those slums out of me, and I will get myself out of the situation. So taking those slums out of me is, yes, paying for the work that I do or the value I bring to you. Sure, finances, money, I'm not saying money is never a part of any of this, because it is in some ways, but I don't think it's the number one answer. I think it's more like maybe 5 or 6, maybe even 10. The first 3 answers are those slums: the dignity, the self-respect, the self-worth, the self-confidence. And how do we build a lot of those things? We build those things by people listening to us, caring about us, caring about what our talents and gifts to this world actually could be, and then supporting us in those talents and gifts, right? So I already have a plan. I already have an idea with my talents and gifts. Support those talents and gifts. Build me in that way. And then, yeah, if that turns into financial growth, please, great. Because obviously, yes, that is a part of life. Anybody who has a business gets paid for what they do. So yes, I want to get paid for what I do. But I'm going to tell you this. The man that I mentioned in my last video that lives in a home in the area, that comes to the park sometimes and helps people get out of homelessness and got the cops to come and take away the perpetrator of that fight. He showed me he talked to me about an individual who stays near the park, but just down the street, in a van. And he said, yeah, that guy had a GoFundMe. And a bunch of people donated. People heard about it. I don't know if it was through YouTube or whatever, but a whole bunch of people donated, and he bought a van with it. And good, because now he's off the street and he's in a van. So that's good. But it was 3 years ago, you know? And this guy that helps people, he goes and talks to the guy in the van a lot. And he always says, hey, what's your next goal? What are you going to do here? What are you going to do here? And the guy isn't moving forward. And everybody does move at their different pace, because actually it's been 10 years for me, but I haven't come forward saying I'm ready to move on. I am now coming forward saying I'm ready to move on. So maybe this guy was never ready to move on. So it is a blessing that people donated and got him at least off the street and into this van. The point is that money wasn't the answer. You know, money wasn't the answer for him to fully get out of the situation. And eventually that van's going to break down and need repairs, and then what? People are going to come and give him a handout again? And is it a handout or is it a hand up? I like the idea of a hand up, not really just a handout, but I really have to be careful saying that, because I am not against outside help. I'm not against that stuff. Some people really need it. It's just in my situation right now, for very specific reasons, I feel like I can do it on my own. I feel like I should do it. I have 2 hands, 2 legs. I'm getting better mentally. I have some abilities that I can utilize, and I totally can get a job right now. So this is what I'm gonna do. And I would really appreciate your hand up. And that hand up right now is believing in me, sticking with me, listening to me, sharing my channel, liking, subscribing, supporting, ringing the bell, having the notifications, watching the videos all the way through. You know, being on my live chats, you know, and then yes, sure, donating when it comes time, because you believe in my channel, you believe in me, you want to bless me for all of the effort that I'm putting in, all of those sort of things. But yeah, I'm not against people taking the hand out when they really need it, because some people really do need it. They really do need it. But even still, I hope that that's a hand up and not just money that's dissolved. Again, since I've watched so much YouTube, I've seen every YouTuber say at the end or the beginning or the middle or sometimes multiple times through their videos, please like, please share, please subscribe, please tick the notification bell, please comment. And the reason they ask you to do this is because this is how YouTube's algorithm, the YouTube overlord, that decides who they're going to promote for people to watch their channel. Because of the interaction on your channel, through the comments, through the likes, through the subscribers, through the notification bells, through the sharing and things like that. So those are the things that really you can do to help. And I've seen these YouTubers over the years ask people to do that. And then I've also seen these YouTubers say, hey, if you like my content, if you find value in my content, please go ahead and support me on Patreon, or support me on this Cash App, or come onto my live stream and do a super chat donation, or donate this way, or support me financially in this way, or buy my merchandise, or go down and go down into the affiliate link and purchase if you purchase these items, I get a commission off of it. Or YouTubers will have a sponsorship for their channel, or different things like that. To be honest with you, YouTube AdSense, meaning YouTube paying you directly because on your video there's a commercial and they watch the whole commercial. That's the only time that YouTube really pays you directly, but that's not a lot of money. It is part of it though, so please do, when I start getting commercials and things like that, after my 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers, please do watch those ads to support me so YouTube will pay me. But most of the payment will come through the merchandise and through the Patreons, or the super chats, or the other donations. And so I've seen other YouTubers do that, whether it's a technology channel, whether it's a self-improvement channel, whether it's a vlogging channel, whether it's a travel channel. Regardless of what kind of channel it is, people do that because they like the creator, they want to support the creator, they value what that creator's doing, that creator's bringing value into their life. They want to support them for the time that it takes to do all of these videos and to edit and come up with the ideas, and all of the hours that the creator spends. So I don't want to be any different than any of the other creators. If that's how you feel about my channel, if you find value in it, if I'm bringing value to your life, if you want to donate because of the time that I'm taking to do all of this, and you support me in my vision and my trajectory and things like that, then please do donate in that way when I get set up. But I won't be set up for a while. So again, I really appreciate the fact that you want to do that. That's very humbling, and I really appreciate it. I hope you can understand that I just want to be paid in the way that everybody else is, and supported in the way that everybody else is. No different, really. So for those of you who have made an even more extensive offer to me, to one man, offering his home, and 3 other women basically offering their home, and somebody offering also their RV up in the mountains. That would also take me a whole video for you to understand why I'm not jumping on that. But the long and short of it, because I will do a video on it, you will understand things a little bit better. But the long and short of it right now, over the last 10 years, opportunities have opened to me, and not all of them have been good, okay? Not all of them have been good. Not to say that they've been terrible, but not all of them have gotten me where I need to go. Well, none of them have gotten me where I need to go. none of them have fully fit in with what I want and what I need. And you're just gonna have to trust that. So much of this, where I'm at and why I'm here, is not just about a job, and it's not just about four walls. Again, like, this is so much bigger than what you're really seeing right now. And I can't cram all of that into 2 months of 15, 20-minute videos. I can't cram all of that into one 15, 20-minute video. So you'll just have to stick with me. This journey isn't just about me. I'm hoping that other people who are in bad situations can learn from what I'm doing and can grow from some of the knowledge that I'm going to expound, or some of the knowledge that I bring from other people eventually onto my channel. So much of where I'm at right now has everything to do with purpose and with the lack of purpose for me. So I have done many jobs in the past, cleaning people's homes, organizing their property, taking their stuff and flipping it and selling it for them and taking a commission. I've done a lot of different things, okay? And in the end, it was really always for those people. It wasn't really for me. It wasn't really for me. And I had a man just a year and a half ago open his home and help me. Now, number one, I won't live with a man unless I'm married to him. So that's number one. But even still, so I lived in his backyard in a tent. And but when you're on somebody's compound, you are now in a relationship with that person, and not just a relationship, a friend that can go home every night. It's a real relationship, and you're really having to work it out with that person. And that person has needs and wants and desires just like you do. Right now, I can't do anybody's needs and wants and desires. As you can see, I'm struggling just with August, you know? So I can't come into somebody else's surroundings and deal with their needs and wants and desires, not with the propensities I have, not with the weaknesses I have. And I finally have a goal and a vision and a game plan of my own. And it's hard for me to say I believe it will work, because I just don't believe in myself right now, but I do believe in the process. If I follow this process, it's got to work. And it's my process, and it's my goal, and it's my vision, and it's my plan, and it's just, honestly, at this point, it's what I'm gonna do. I have followed other people's multiple times, and in the end, it has blessed them and helped them, so I'm grateful for that. But I walk away and I go back to my life, and I'm still right back where I was. So I'm not gonna go into somebody else's arena anymore. I so appreciate it. I so appreciate it. I really do. And these experiences that I'm talking about have not all been negative, so please, I hope you're not getting that from me. They were not all negative, and these people blessed my life, but I am past that stage right now. I am past that stage. I desperately need to get better in certain ways that I see, and I know that those things won't get me there. This is more than just getting underneath a roof. This is more than just going to In-N-Out Burger and working for 15 bucks an hour. It's more than that. And so I finally, after 10 years, have a vision of what I want to do, something that will bring me purpose. I have a game plan to get there. I have step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7. I have the whole thing planned out for the next 2 years. Now, at this point, 2 months in, I am supposed to be further than I actually am right now. I'm supposed to be further than I actually am right now. Again, I wasn't expecting August to come back into the picture, and I wasn't expecting the park to be the way it was. And I wasn't expecting this personal thing to come into my life right now. But I am still steps ahead. I am still on the path. I'm just not going at the speed that I had hoped and want. But to be honest with you, I always have this warp speed mind, just like some of you who are commenting. And so, yeah, I mean, I know that it's depressing and disheartening to me that I can't get somewhere as fast as I used to be able to get there, to be honest with you. It's very hard for me to accept in myself, but it's the reality. It's the reality. So I have to be patient with myself, but I know the plan will work. So I'm doing my plan. I'm doing my plan. I will tell you more about that plan as time goes on. I'm going to finish these vlogs on the park and this particular point in my life. And I will add more of that in, so you'll be able to see the plan. Whether you agree with all of the plan or not, I'm assuming you will, but you know, you may not either. Anyway, so I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you, and I wish I could help you, because some of you also, it's a symbiotic relationship. You wanted to help me, but you also wanted me to help you, and I wish I could do that, but I can't. I can't. Literally, I feel like there's water above me, and I get up, and I keep getting above the water, and I take a breath, and then I go back down, and I need to conserve that breath. So that's why so many of you are confused, saying, hey, why are you helping August then? Why are you doing this then? You need to... And I know, and you're right. And yet at the same time, all of this is, again, not just about a roof. It's not just about a job. It's not even just about a purpose, but it is mostly about purpose for me. But it's about who I'm becoming in the process. Thank you for caring enough. Thank you for the offer. I do appreciate it. And so when somebody made the comment, can anybody get out of homelessness? Yes, they can. Obviously, there's government assistance and programs and things like that. But you know from my other videos, I'm putting all your eggs in that basket can be very deflating. It can be very difficult. But you can also do it on your own. But that also really depends, because I don't want people to think that the way that I'm doing it is the only, like, this is not the only way. The next guy had a different story of how he got here, but he'll also have a different story of how he got out. And if he's doing that with government assistance or anything else, I'm not here to poo-poo on that. I'm not here to say that that's bad. Please don't get the idea that, because I don't really know how to say it right now, and especially in such a long video, I just can't compile it right now. But it's not, please don't get the idea that any of that's bad to me, but the way that I'm going to do it doesn't mean that the next guy can necessarily do it that way. Not everybody's at my mental level, not everybody's at my physical level, not everybody's at my emotional level, which is low and down in many ways, but it's also climbing up in some ways. And you know, I don't have a drug addiction. There's so many things I don't have that other people in the park do have. So I have a step forward than them. And, but part of these steps is to show people, not just homeless people. It's not just about homeless people, but people in poverty, or people who are living low wage, or an immigrant that comes here and has nothing, or somebody overseas, you know. There's a lot of people within our country and outside of our country that deal with a lot of different financial problems, emotional problems, mental problems, you know, educational problems, things like that. And I want to address a variety of those things. So those of you who want a more definitive step-by-step, what am I doing to actually get out of this situation? Again, please wait till at least the beginning of the year, maybe even end of January. I will give more videos on a step-by-step, but each step really deserves its own video. This is already way, way, way too long. My past is a big whole conglomeration. Somebody else asked, hey, can you show us your surroundings so that we can see your daily life, like your tent? And somebody else said, yeah, do you have any weapons or anything that keeps you safe and that sort of thing? So I'm going to tell you, for those of you who want kind of an overview of how I got into this situation and my past, just a very quick overview, go to Invisible People. I want to say my video was posted maybe October 8th, but Sage Summers. I don't know how to put a link in the description, okay? I don't know how to do any of those things yet. So if one of you commenters can link to that video, that'd be great in the comment section. And then the second video, go to Be Less Stupid. And there's a video I want to say posted maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Again, Sage Summers. And it shows my tent, it shows the inside, it shows the outside, it has an aerial view of my tent, and the guy did ask me about, like, you know, weapons that I had in there to protect myself. So that will give you, it's a good video and it'll give you an overview of that. Some of you have asked how else you can contact me right now. Because I'm really struggling with the technology, there's no other way to contact me right now. It's just through these comments. Because I don't know how to do certain things and I don't know what is best to do. So until I can get my head wrapped around that, this is all I've got. Somebody said, have I ever thought about van life? Yes, I have. I was doing van life before there was van life to do. Meaning I was living in a van before this whole 10-year stint happened, and I lived in a van in the last 10 years as well. So yes, and that will probably most likely be one of my steps before I'm housed anyways, because I have a very specific thing that I want to do as I do start making money. Many people said that I need counseling and to not deny my trauma, okay? So I will address that. Since this happened 10 years ago, I've been to 7 or 8 counselors, okay? 7 or 8, and I'm not talking a month. Some of them were just a few months, but a few of them were a whole year or more. And that's a lot of money to spend. That's a lot of money to spend, which is very difficult for me to give up when I don't feel like I'm getting value in return. But I felt like you have to give it at least a good amount of time. And it wasn't working, you know, it just wasn't. I was fixated on that trauma, and I finally came to the point where it's like, no, I'm just moving forward. The trauma is going to be healed as time goes on. And you know what? I'm feeling better about that decision. So, yeah, I just had a counselor that I had had for almost a whole year, and I had to let go of him this summer. And he told me, he's like, I don't know what to do for you. And that's a lot of money and time to spend for somebody to say that in the end. Now, he's a good guy, and I liked him as a person, but counseling is one thing that I want to address on here as time moves on, and I mean time moves on like 2 years down the road. I want to tweak it just a little bit because I think counseling could be more effective. But somebody said maybe August doesn't want to be found, and what is the backstory between you and August? I'm going to be doing a whole video on the backstory. I will share with you what I can. But as far as her not wanting to be found, that's fairly true. You know, It is. But sometimes people push you away. I don't know if any of you have teenagers, and you can tell that when they're pushing you away, sometimes they're actually wanting you to just love them. Sometimes that's not true. They truly are pushing you away because they want you to get away. And sometimes they're pushing you away because they need to know that they're loved and that they're supported and they're not abandoned. And I've been there, and I can see some of those signs. And for me, I have to know that I've done as much as I possibly can before I can let it go. And I have done X, Y, and Z with August, and I'm working on the last 2 steps, and then I can't do any more, mainly because I'm not in a position. I'm not the lifeguard. And somebody even asked, how can I help? How could somebody help August who doesn't even know her and doesn't know her backstory? So one of you was interested in helping August, and boy, from the bottom of my heart, I'm grateful for that. And for those of you who offered to donate to me so that I could help others, I'm also very grateful for that. I'm so grateful for your kindness and your concern. As for August, I don't know how you could help her. These last 2 steps that I'm trying to take, I think those are the last 2 steps. So, as far as helping others through me, part of the challenge is that things would have to be very transparent, because I wouldn't want anybody expecting one thing and then claiming something about me or whatever. For example, Mark on Invisible People, he says that he doesn't even get paid for his channel. Like, he doesn't take anything from YouTube. Some people on his channel, you can see people saying that's not true, I wouldn't want that whole back and forth, whatever. My personal opinion is Mark should take the money. I really think he should. Better in his pocket than Google's. It's my opinion. But he could also just create an organization. So for someone like me, for example, part of the reason he says he doesn't take the money is because when he interviews someone like myself, then he may never see me again to be able to give me the money that he made from that video, plus that video continues to grow over time, so he'd have to continue to somehow pay that individual. And to me, so start an organization where all that money goes in, and then it may not help me specifically, but it could help another homeless person because of my video and the money that it accrues. So that's my opinion, but I haven't shared that with Mark. But I understand the conflict because people say things about him, and you know, I just, there's a transparency that you would want. I'm not at that point. Can hardly juggle myself. So I do love that idea, and I do appreciate that idea. I'd have to think about that more and figure out how I could possibly do it, because, you know. But again, in the end, I don't feel like money is just the whole answer. And, you know, somebody else made a comment to me, you know, knowing that I was doing this channel, and they're like, well, hey, if you make it big, don't forget me. And it's like, man, just get to know me more, because I don't even, whatever I say right now, it could be construed in a whole bunch of different ways. But I'm not, man, I think money defiles a lot of things. It's a good thing in so many ways, and we need it too, so please don't understand that. But if I had kids, let me put it this way, the people you love the most, right, are supposed to be your children. And if I had children, and so maybe this is a good way for you guys to look at it. For me, think of me as your child. If I had children, I would not raise them just giving them money. right and left. No. I'm going to have them work for it. And I'm going to get to know my different children individually, get to know them enough that I know their talents and their strengths and their weaknesses. I'm going to try to help guide them to things that they enjoy and that they're talented in, so that they can do that the rest of their life and make money. Even within our own home, there's going to be expectations and responsibilities and chores and things that they need to do to work for their daily life. And I'm not just going to give them money outright all the time, maybe once in a great while, but the whole purpose with this child is to help them to grow as an individual, not just in their pocket, but as an individual, so that they're capable, so that they have the skills, so that they have the confidence, so that they have the self-respect, the decision-making abilities, the drive, the understanding, and the capability to go out into the world and continue that growth independent of me. That's my responsibility as a parent, you know? I honestly don't feel like it's that different between people who aren't parents, right? So you can just give somebody money, but if you saw my last video and you watched and you saw all those clothes just laying all over the place, brand name clothing that was very expensive, shoes that were very expensive, all the food, and I didn't put footage of that on there, but I should have, all the food that was out just rotting, you know. And I am not saying as well, please hear me, because this park is a very unique experience. There are many people on the street corner and in the alleyway and things like that who do not have these donations coming to them, who do not have just food showing up to them 100%. My point is this, another quote that I love and I truly feel and believe is true. Give a man a fish, feed him for a day. So you'll have to feed him for the next day, and the next, and the next, and the next. And you become his mommy and daddy. Because he's dependent on you. Now, some people, that is their life. And that is what they need right now. They need that mommy and daddy. They need to be that child under 10 years old or 12 years old. But once they start hitting their teen years and their ability, emotional, mental, social, you know, physical abilities, they need to start being able to grow past that mommy, daddy dependency stage, and they need to start coming into adulthood. So give a man a fish, feed him for a day. You feed that child under 12 every day. But teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. Once he hits that 13 plus, you really need to make sure that you're teaching him to fish. So he's not dependent on you. He's learning to become dependent on himself and his own skills. Then he can leave you. And that's the point. So give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. There's actually an extra level to that. Teach a man to teach others how to fish and feed a generation. So I believe this is a true principle. I want to live by it. I want to help others to live by it. Again, I'm not negating that there are people who need that daily fish. But I don't think it's the greatest gift. I think it's the greatest gift to help everybody get closer to being more independent. So in the end, again, I just want to reiterate, please don't go down into the comments and like say, oh, whoever made this comment or da-da-da, or rag on each other. I would prefer not to have that spirit of contention or aggressiveness or judging each other, and I hope I didn't come off judgmental. If I did, please wipe it out of your mind, because I'm grateful for all of your comments, the good, the bad, and the ugly in some ways. You know, sometimes it's corrective criticism, sometimes it does sound harsh, but most of the time it's out of the generosity of your heart. And I frankly agree with almost all of your comments. I agree with them. I really do. Even the ones that you thought that I didn't agree with, like the lifeguard one, or, you know, focusing too much on August and not taking care of myself. Like, I agree with those comments. It's just that I have my own weaknesses and I'm struggling with those. So thank you for those comments, because honestly, it's the amount of people saying that to me has really made an impression on me too. So it's just that sometimes, because of my own weaknesses, I can't immediately act on it, or I'm keeping that in the back of my head, but I also understand the fullness of the situation, so I'm continuing to work on that in a way that I feel comfortable with my own morality. Let's all try to be kinder, myself included, and stick with me if you can. Thanks. Like, share, subscribe, ring the bell so you get the notifications, and make your comments. Thanks. Bye.